So I am sitting here with Goldfinger, who just returned from Vietnam. And my question to him is, after having been to Vietnam, is that the new location for Goldfinger? Is he gonna make the move, or is he gonna stay here in the Philippines? Coming up in the video. All right, boys and girls, as I promised in the introduction, we are here with the infamous, the one, the only Goldfinger. And Goldfinger recently went to Vietnam.
Yes, I did. Yes,
and
I did.
I want a number of things I want to find out from you. I want to know what your impressions of Vietnam was, how you liked it, what you thought of it. Is it an opportunity for you?
Okay.
But what I'm really interested in is, you had alluded to, we didn't talk too much because I wanted to save it for the video. What was it like leaving the Philippines? And what was it like coming back into the Philippines?
Okay.
So why don't we start with your story of departure?
Departure wasn't perfect. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't perfect. You have to have several things to leave the country. If you're here for more than 6 months, you have to have an exit clearance. If you're here for more than a year, you also have to pay an exit tax. I didn't realize about the exit tax. I got the exit clearance, okay? Exit clearance was 3,500 pesos, and exit tax was 1,620 pesos. But they had me get it at the airport in Manila.
So you left out of Manila, not Cebu, to go to Vietnam.
And going from Dumaguete to Manila was not particularly difficult, other than you have to go stairs up to the airplane, and when you come off of Manila, it's actually like a tunnel, you know, that's even with a door. So the stairs was a little bit tough for me because I'm not doing real good with stairs right now. But in any case, it was uneventful. But Manila was a zoo. So anybody that wants to leave Philippines or come in, do not go through Manila, okay? There's other choices. Cebu, Clark, okay, they have international.
But what was it at Manila that got you twisted?
So when I got there, I had a 3-hour layover, and I figured I'll be sitting around and relaxing, okay? That did not happen. So there's long, long lines. And you know how they have cattle and they go back and forth, like you're at Disneyland ride or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm looking at that and I'm going, okay, that's not gonna work, because they're obviously, it's gonna take an hour in just this one line, and I know I have another line because I still have to go through security, which also was just like that.
So what was your first move? Did you first go up to the ticket counter and get your ticket?
So I went to the handicap, because the handicap only had one person in line ahead of me, one family, okay?
Okay.
And I figured, okay, that's definitely gonna be shorter. I could play the handicap part, okay?
Well, you're all
because I'm
handicapped.
limping, you know, I have a bad ankle, but you know, I played it a little bit. And with the handicap, they immediately got me a wheelchair, and that helped a lot because it got me across 4 more lines, okay?
So what was the first line?
The first line was the ticket, getting your ticket.
Right.
And it saved me an hour there.
Okay.
The second line was to pay my exit tax, okay?
So you didn't have an exit clearance before you went to the airport?
No, I had an exit clearance.
Okay.
But this is an exit tax.
The tax,
okay?
right.
And the exit tax is separate. You have to pay it in Manila before you leave.
Now, was that close to the ticket counter?
No, not at all. You think it would be, right? No. So he wheeled me over there, and he took me also, because if you're handicapped, pregnant, or other problems, you know, older, you know, you get in front of the line. So that helped me, because that also had a long line, okay? Then you got to go back to the ticket counter, and that's when they actually give you your ticket, okay? Then you go
So the system is to go check in first.
Yep.
Don't go to the tax line first.
No.
Okay. Check in first, go to the tax line.
Yep.
Pay your exit tax.
Yep.
Then back to the counter for your ticket.
Right.
Okay.
Now, if I had to wait through that long line again, that would be ridiculous, okay? Luckily, I didn't. I only had a couple people in front of me the second time.
Okay.
Then from there, they wheeled me over to where you go through immigration. Immigration is checking to see your status. Are you allowed to leave? Did you pay your exit tax? And are you allowed into Vietnam? They want to see your visa, e-visa, approving you for Vietnam with the dates and everything else, because you have to pay Vietnam to come in there. It's a communist country.
Right.
Now, getting that from Vietnam was interesting too, because they base their fees based on your information that you supply them. They ask you everything ahead of time, and you have to get it a week or two before.
Right.
And they want to know what your income is, how long you're staying, how much you plan on spending. Okay. So if you tell them you're spending a longer time and you're spending more money, it's a cheaper fee.
Oh.
And it doesn't, and you can leave earlier, but it's a cheaper fee. But I didn't know that.
Okay.
So I said, I'm going for a week, and I'm going to spend maybe $1,000 US.
Okay.
And so they charged me $65 for that ticket, when
No
normally
kidding.
it would only be $25.
You know, when I went 5 years ago, it was $10.
Yeah.
But
$65.
Okay.
And I found out later that if I told them I was going to be there for 3 months and I'm going to spend $10,000, they would have made it cheaper.
Okay.
So, and it doesn't matter if you leave sooner. Okay.
so you had that already set up on your phone, right? When you went
Yeah.
to the
Well, I
airport.
actually
You
had
had
a printed.
to.
I had a printed paper.
Okay.
Okay. And I had it on my phone.
Okay.
So I showed that to immigration, which had a line too, but we got ahead of the line, right to the area where there's handicap. Then we have to go through security check, which is TSA in the U.S. And security check also had a huge line like cattle. All of them did. And luckily, they didn't check anything. They didn't check my bags. They didn't check me. They had me get out of the wheelchair, walk through a metal detector. It beeped. Okay? And I says, do you want me to take off my glasses, my bracelet? There's nothing in my pockets. He says, no, you're fine.
Your shoes? You can leave
Nope,
your shoes
I
on?
did take my shoes off. It's like, okay. And my bags went through the, what is that, X-ray machine,
Yeah.
but they didn't open or do anything. And I had bottles of liquid in there. I had peptides, and I had bacterial, BAC water, who knows what the hell the name is, bacteriostatic water in there. And I also had shampoo, which was a bottle. I knew it was 7 fluid ounces, and I knew that wasn't going to be allowed, but I figured, oh, well, maybe. They didn't check it, they didn't open it, they didn't do anything, they didn't say anything. So they gave me my bags, and then this already took 3 hours just to get through that.
And you were being rushed through in a wheelchair.
Yeah, and that took 3 hours.
Wow.
If you can imagine, okay? Even though we bypassed those lines. Now everybody was freaking out in the security check, because when they saw the huge, longer line in security check, they're all saying, we're gonna miss our flight, we're gonna miss our flight.
Right.
And I was telling the guy that was pushing me, who spoke perfect English, a Filipino man, I think I'm gonna miss my flight because it leaves literally in 10 minutes, and we were in a line waiting for the security check. It still was a fairly long line for the security check, maybe 20 people ahead of me. So, but there was 100 people if you weren't handicapped. I mean, it was shorter, but it wasn't short. And so then, but he literally jogged me to the gate. And when I got to the gate, we found out that the plane is being held back 45 minutes. And nobody has boarded yet. So he made such an effort. I gave him 1,000 pesos.
Good for you.
He was shocked. He was a little shocked when I gave him the 1,000.
No,
I says, no, but
that's
you made an
righteous.
effort, and I appreciate it. And you got me here on time, even though I didn't need to be. And you made the difference in me making my flight or not. So I took care of him. And then they had someone else board the handicap first. When they got everybody on the plane sat without moving for 45 more minutes. I don't know why. They said there's technical problems, and we're going to be a little bit before we leave. So it was another 45 minutes before we left.
So how much time do you have invested in this thing so far?
4 hours.
Okay.
Well, 4.5 hours.
Could be
4.5
worse.
hours.
Okay.
And that's not a big deal. If I didn't have a connecting flight, once I get into Vietnam, I get into Vietnam. And okay, so I already had paid a company to pick me up at the airport, 360,000 dong. Don't ask me what that is. It's 26,000 dong to the dollar, so you guys can do the math. So it was 360,000 dong to take me from the airport to my apartment. I rented an apartment. Now, Vietnam is phenomenal. You want to talk about the Vietnam first?
Yeah, but were you in District 1, 2, 3?
I was in District 4, which is just outside of District 1. And the reason why I ended up in District 4 is because when I booked my tickets on booking.com, I had actually booked 2 different hotels because they didn't require a deposit. You pay when you arrive.
Okay.
So I booked a ticket in District 1 and I booked a ticket outside of District 1 in District 4.
And what are the big differences between the districts? I heard District 1 is the best for some
District
reason.
1 is the most crowded. It's the center of the city. It's like going into LA City, where District 4 would be in the valley surrounding,
Gotcha.
outside of the city. you know.
Okay, all right.
And so I kind of decided, okay, I was going to stay with District 1 because I wanted to be within walking distance of everything I want to see, okay? But District 1, on the night before, 25 hours before I leave, literally 1 hour before I could have a chance to cancel without a charge, sent me a message that says your room is no longer available. I was going to bed. It was 11:30. It was 11:30 when I read it, and they had sent it maybe 30 minutes before, and I just happened to catch it from the hotel, sending me a message. And I thought, oh, I'll just read it. We have an update for you, blah, blah, blah. And I read it, it says, we're sorry, but your room is no longer available. Please book somewhere else. And we suggest that you cancel your reservation because you'll be charged by midnight. How do you like that?
Nice.
It's nice. So I'm freaking out. So I went ahead and I had already canceled District 4. So I had to go back and find another place for District 4, okay?
All right.
So I found a place at District 4. It was a little bit more money, but it turned out to be a really nice apartment. And I mean really nice.
Okay.
And I'm glad it actually worked out. You know how things happen for a reason?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, this happened for a reason, okay? They did me a favor because District 1 wasn't as nice as what I got, to be honest with you. It cost less than District 1, but a little bit more than the first time I booked, which was several months earlier.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're happy with your residence?
Yeah, it was 7 million dong. Again, you guys have to do the math. 26,000 to the buck. 26,000 dong to a buck. That's what you do. And it cost me about 7 million, and I was there for 8 days. I booked it for the day before because I arrived. I actually ended up arriving at 1 in the morning, so I booked it for the day before.
Okay.
And they gave me the code numbers to get in, and the code numbers to get in my room, and everything was ready for me. And it was nice. It had stove, pots, pans, dishes, microwave, refrigerator, air conditioning split unit, a king size bed, and a washer and dryer. And it was a big room, studio, but it had a big bathroom too with a shower. It was nice. I mean,
so what was your impression of Vietnam itself?
loved it. I love Vietnam.
Okay.
Incredibly cheap. I was shocked. No, I mean seriously, half the price almost of Philippines.
Yeah.
That was like, how can that possibly be? Half the price of the Philippines. And Philippines is already a fourth of the price of the U.S. Anywhere from a third to a fourth of the price of the U.S., depending on what city you live in. And this was, again, half as much.
If I could inject, Vietnam is climbed to the top of the list for people to go to.
Oh, for sure.
The guys that were sitting on the couch like me 8 years ago, the Philippines was on top.
Right.
And
I
so
remember
that's
Forbes,
what
number
brought
one.
me here,
Yeah.
Forbes and
Yeah.
everybody else. And so, yeah, I want to go that place.
Right.
And now we're not even on the list.
We're not on the list.
No,
Oh, boy.
no. Vietnam is topping that.
Well, I
And
don't blame them because Vietnam is very clean, a little bit upper grade, not a whole lot. I mean, Bangkok in Thailand is actually nicer, but it's a little bit above grade compared to to where we live here.
Okay.
It's a bigger city, so
what
I can
was
understand why it's not as clean as here because it is a big city. I mean, I was in District 1 of Ho Chi Minh, Saigon, which is a very big city.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like going into Manila. They have 14 million people there.
Did you have any problems navigating? I mean, did you just take cabs and grabs and all that kind of stuff?
So I didn't get a SIM card. I decided to be cheap, not get a SIM card for the few days I'm there because I'm just doing it, like a visa run. Okay. And so as long as I had Wi-Fi, I could do Grab, but the problem I have is BDO Bank from here would not pay any of the bills. I tried booking stuff, and the thing is, BDO couldn't send me, for whatever reason, they couldn't send me, what do they call it, a message on Messenger, or messages, a TPO or something like that. And they couldn't send me that to verify. You have to verify with a number.
Right.
I couldn't get it. Now, maybe if I'd gotten a SIM card from Vietnam, I might have gotten it, but I couldn't transfer do anything money. Now, luckily, a friend of mine said he had the same problem when he went there, that he has BDO and he couldn't get any money, and he had to use Remitly or Wise, I don't remember which one, and he had money sent to a bank, and then he got the money from the bank. So he said, hey, I have $100 bills. Why don't you take 10 $100 bills with you?
Good idea.
They're brand new.
I always do that when I travel.
So I said, okay, great, thank you, because I don't really want the problem. I said, I don't think I'm gonna spend $1,000, but he gave me 10 $100 bills. I spent 3 of them and had something like 7 or 8 million dong left over.
Wow.
You can't spend money there. I was sorry I spent the 3 $100 bills because I had too much money on me. Okay, I mean, I didn't keep it in my wallet. I kept it in a separate pocket.
Well, what was a typical day for you while you were over there? Did you just go to restaurants?
I walked
Did you take
around.
any tours?
I did
or anything?
I took 2 tours. So one tour was with a person that translates. Okay, a young girl, Luna, and she took me around and saw the city, and I paid for the taxi cab. We had an electric cab, and I said, just hire him for half a day, and we'll walk around. And so we had him, he'd wait for us, and we went into the marketplace, and we went and saw the Capitol, we saw the president's quarters, we saw the church. There were very well, some of the interesting areas. I'm not a big history buff.
Right.
But it was very interesting. We took a tour around District 1 mostly, and then we did some shopping, but I didn't really buy too much. I just wanted coffee to bring back. And I noticed the prices in District 1 because it was the second day I was there. The first day, I went into the local, I just walked around the first day, and I went into the local market, and the local market was very, very cheap. Like, I'm trying to figure out the money, but it's like, are you kidding? You know, this is only 30,000 dong. It's $1.
Yeah.
It's just over $1 for this whole meal,
Right.
which I can't finish.
Now, when I was over there, I used to get befuddled on the money.
Well, that's normal.
Was it hard for you to
A little bit.
to
A little bit at first.
adjust?
By the time the 6th or 7th day, I got it. But yeah,
By the time you were leaving.
By the time I was leaving, I figured it out. But you know, it's like I'm looking at the bills because they're different and they have so many zeros. I can't differentiate between 10,000,
I know.
100,000, and a million.
And a million, yeah.
Okay, there's just more zeros. Okay,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm looking at it, trying to count the zeros. Like, is this 10,000 or is this 100,000? And then when I open the wallet, they know it. Now they don't speak any English in District 1 or District 4.
Now, how
There's
did
no
that
English.
play out for you when you were roaming around
So-
by yourself and you just wanted to get a lunch or a
What I
sandwich
did
or a cup
before
of
I
coffee?
got there, I had Google Translate, and
Okay.
I downloaded the language. You could download it onto your phone.
Okay.
So you don't need Wi-Fi. So you could talk into your phone, and then you could press a button and have it talk to them in their language. And then when they talk to your phone, you can record it, and then it'll translate either in words or verbally to you. And it worked fine.
Oh, good.
Not perfect, but I would say 80-90% perfect.
Okay, cool.
And so that's how I translated when I ordered food, or I wanted, like they wanted something. I was trying to figure out if it was per kilo for these oranges, or fruit's cheap. Oh my God, everything is so cheap. You could buy a whole basket of fruit, and I mean a big basket, like a cart, for $2 US.
What was your main staple while you were there? Because when I was there, it was noodles and soup, and it was the sandwiches.
I tried that. What's that? Bo? I can't remember.
Pho.
Bo. So I tried
PHO.
Bo, but the thing, it was too spicy. I told them not spicy. I put it on my phone, and so he brought it, and I tasted it, and I'm like, whoa, not a happening. And so I brought her back over, and I says, too spicy. Telling. She goes, no spicy, no spicy. I says, yes, spicy. So she took it away, and she brought it back, and I still tried it. It was still spicy, and I figured, okay, I'll just eat the vegetables. And I used my water to wash off the vegetables. I couldn't eat it. It was so burning hot. They like hot food. I seriously like hot food, which is similar to Thailand,
I
too.
forget the name of them, but the sandwiches with the pate and all that on there.
Bon Mai,
Something like that.
Bon Mai, yeah. I had one. Actually, I had two. Twice I had sandwiches. I don't typically eat bread because I'm on a low carb, but I couldn't finish them, and I'd bring it back, but I never eat it out of the refrigerator because I'm on peptides, okay? And I eat so little food now.
That's
one
true.
meal a day, okay? And I can only eat half of what they serve.
Okay.
Okay? I mean, we didn't talk about that either. I've lost 72 pounds.
Well, we'll get to that.
We'll
We're
get to
talking
that.
about Vietnam,
All
for
right,
Christ's sake.
so back to Vietnam. I like Vietnam. It's very inexpensive. They're very nice. They don't speak English, but they are very nice, very pleasant people. And then I took another tour on a bus. It was a double-decker bus, and it was a night tour. And it wasn't very expensive. The night tour on the bus was 275 pesos, okay? And they basically, I had pesos left over, so I just paid them pesos when I got to the ticket.
They took your pesos?
They took my pesos, which is bizarre because you know the exchange rate's going to be terrible.
Right.
But they put it in pesos, so I paid them in pesos. And 275 pesos is $5.
What was what did you feel about the vibe over there as far as the people? Were they friendly? Did they keep to themselves?
They're very friendly. They keep to themselves, but they understand tourists, and they know that I'm going to ask questions and stuff. And so when I asked a question, like, do you know where I can use a bathroom, or do you know where I can find a nice restaurant that has seafood, or things like that, they would actually, similar to the Philippines, they take me all the way there, out of their way, which they do in the Philippines too.
It was just any guy on the street.
Any person, male or female, on the street.
Okay.
Very personable, but we couldn't speak. But I asked a taxi driver once if I could hire him to take me into town and then come back. And he spoke a little bit of English, and then from what I got from it was, this is not his area. He's out of his area. But so when I put it on the phone, then I understood better. So he says he didn't want to come back to this area because he works District 1, which probably makes more money than District 4.
How was the infrastructure? How was the streets like compared to the Philippines?
I haven't been in Manila. Okay, I've been in Cebu, but I haven't been in Manila. So,
But I'm saying in Vietnam, what were the
Well,
street lights and the streets and the infrastructure and the Wi-Fi and all that? I found it to be greatly improved when I was over there.
It's improved. It is imperfect. They didn't have street lights.
Oh, they didn't?
Not too many street lights in District 4. In District 1 they did, but not in District 4. And when you cross the street, It's like Froggy, you know, the game Froggy.
Frogger,
I swear
yeah.
to God, they don't stop for you. I don't care if they're
Yeah.
cars or motorcycles. You cross and you sometimes go back, then you go forward, then you go back, then you go forward, and you got to dodge. They don't stop. They don't stop. And
Traffic's
there's no
insane,
lights.
isn't it?
It's. You know how many motorcycles are here?
Yeah.
Okay, 10 times as many motorcycles.
yeah.
I can't believe how many bikes.
Yeah.
More bikes than cars.
And they have the circles. They have the little roundabouts.
Try to get across.
Yeah.
Forget it. So a lot of times I had to wait a long time till I could see a long distance, and then quick go to the middle, and then wait for a big break, and then quick, and still they don't stop. I swear they aim for you.
Now, did you see a coffee shop on every block like I did? I
Two
saw
or
like
three.
two or three, yeah.
2 or 3. They're
Huge
big
on coffee.
Big on coffee.
And how did you like their coffee?
Too strong.
I didn't care for it.
Yeah,
But that's just
the
me.
egg one, which was egg coffee, I forgot the name of it, but it was very good, but it had a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
And I don't do carbs.
Yeah.
So I had it once, it was excellent, but I didn't have it again because it's very sweet, and I couldn't explain to them no sugar.
How was the weather?
My weather was perfect.
Okay.
I
Sunny?
got very lucky. It was genuinely warm, warmer than today. So it was about 80 degrees in the middle of the day. So you seek shade a little bit in the middle of the day, but the mornings were pleasant and the evenings were pleasant, and I didn't get bitten up by mosquitoes, which was unusual.
Well, that's a plus.
Yeah, because I get bitten up by mosquitoes here if I don't put something on.
So your overall viewpoint of Vietnam, would you go back to hang out, like take Carolyn or
Yeah,
something
I would
like
love
that?
to take Carolyn, and I like to see something more than Ho Chi Minh.
Right.
Ho Chi Minh is not the best vacation place. It's a good place to stay 2 or 3 days, but honestly, after the third day, I was ready to leave, and I was
You're
there
bored?
for. Yeah, I looked at planes to take planes back, but they were already like 3-4 times the price.
Speaking about coming back,
oh boy,
when I got a message from you,
yeah,
you were in Manila.
yeah.
And you told me, you said, I left at 5 p.m. and I just got to Manila and it was 6 a.m. when you sent me the message.
Yes.
And I thought that's unusual because it's a 3-hour flight.
Yeah, 11
Can
hours.
you relive that for us?
I hate to. Do I have to?
No.
It was horrible. Okay, so I had to wait. The plane was delayed hours.
What time did you get to the airport?
In Manila?
No. I'm talking about from Vietnam.
From Vietnam, I got there early. I got there at 5 p.m. My flight didn't
And
leave.
what time was the flight leaving?
The flight was going to leave at 8 or 9, about 8:30, 45, something
So
like
you
that.
gave yourself the 3-hour window, which is a good idea.
Which I figured I might need because I don't really know flying out of, but it didn't need that at all.
Okay.
It was much faster. And
All right.
again, I went, they already knew I
Much
was
more
handicapped.
efficient than Manila.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
already knew I was handicapped because they had put it on my tickets,
Okay.
on my return ticket.
All right.
So, but I didn't have the problems, that I did in Manila. It wasn't that bad. So, leaving Vietnam, and I'm something Tan Han John, I don't know, the airport, main airport in Ho Chi Minh.
Okay.
So, leaving there wasn't a problem, but I had gotten there, so I had to wait a few hours. However, I did plug in my phone and charge it, and then I plugged in my charger to recharge my charger, okay, because it was down to like 40%, which I carry on a little battery bank. And I asked the guy next to me to please watch it while I leave. I'm going to go use the CR, the bathroom, and he spoke English. He was a foreigner. I think he was Chinese or Korean. And I went to the bathroom, and I came back. He was gone, and so was my charger. I said, oh, lucky me, I asked the wrong person. And I was kind of pissed off. So I'm running around the airport carrying my roll-on, looking for this guy because I'm going to clobber him. Never saw him. And I said, oh, well, the worst part about it was the charger that was charging the battery was 2 times as expensive as the battery. It was an expensive charger. It was 100 watt. They're expensive.
Did you have a hard time navigating the airport with everything being in Vietnamese? Because I was
No, because
lost.
they also had it in English.
They did have it in English.
Yeah, they had Vietnamese and they had it in English above or
Okay.
below. And so I saw my ticket, but the name, numbers and letters are very similar. So they had it in English letters, and numbers are the same all over the world.
Right.
So I could see my flight, and I knew it said delayed, and it said it's going to leave later. And,
You had any problems finding the gate or anything like that?
well, I was in a wheelchair. The guy found it. I didn't even have to
Oh,
look.
see, I keep forgetting
rolled-
about
he
this
rolled me
wheelchair
all
thing.
over.
I got to remember
So
that.
I didn't have to think of it. I'm going to tell you, even if you aren't handicapped, if you want to get through Manila, I suggest you go in as handicapped. It saves a lot of time and aggravation. I got to tell you, because they just pass you through. So in Vietnam, again, I'm carrying my peptides, my water bottle. Okay, you're not allowed a water bottle. I had a 1 liter water bottle.
Mm-hmm.
I said to the guy who was rolling me, and he was Vietnamese, but He spoke English. I says, I need to throw this away. He says, don't worry about it. And he put it in my suitcase. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? You know, and now they're going to open it. No, they didn't even put the suitcases through what do they call it? The X-ray machine. They didn't even put it through. They rolled it around, and they rolled me around, and I didn't even go through the metal detector.
Just because you're in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So
a
guy standing up that's not handicapped or in a wheelchair,
all they did was
they're
they
going to
reached
check
down
all of his
and
stuff.
they just reached down and they touched behind me to make sure I'm not carrying a gun. They didn't take my shoes off. I didn't go through a metal detector. My bags didn't go through an X-ray machine. And next thing I know, like 1 minute, literally 1 minute. And then when I went through the customs, you're supposed to have a paper you're supposed to show them.
Yeah.
You know, the paper. All I wanted was my passport and my ticket.
You had the paper though, right?
I had the paper. I was
They
ready to
didn't
get
ask for it.
He didn't want it. He didn't ask for it. And that literally took 60 seconds.
Okay. So far,
he didn't
so
say
good.
anything. I just said thank you, but he didn't reply. Okay, fine. So literally, I got to the plane, and then again, the plane's running late. Okay, it hadn't even arrived yet, so it was running late because it was delayed, and it's still running late. Okay.
Got it.
So we had to wait. So then I get on the plane in
What
Vietnam.
time did you get on the plane?
Oh, 10:30, something about that. 10,
Okay.
10:30. It wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Less than an hour after that's supposed to take off. So it was only maybe an hour and a half after the 8:45. So 9:40, maybe 10,
Okay.
10:15. Then we fly, and it's not a very long flight. It was actually very quick.
About 3 hours, right?
Not even.
Really?
2.5 hours.
2.5.
And so I get in. So what time would that be? So I get in pretty much in the middle of the morning again.
1 o'clock. Call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, I did have someone waiting for me to help me off the plane, but I did have somebody on the outside after I walked and took my bag waiting for me. But I think I was supposed to wait. I think they didn't tell me. I think I was supposed to sit and wait for everybody else to leave, and I didn't do that. I just got off myself with everybody else. And so I did the limp thing, and you know what that is, the limp thing.
Yeah.
Like I could have made it, but whatever. I didn't know how. Already knew what Manila was like, so I'm like, I need a wheelchair because I already know what Manila's like, okay? And they took me around, and Manila's you're supposed to have an entry. Did you know you're supposed to have an entry e-visa coming in and an e-visa going out?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I had that. Carolyn knew about that, so I had that printed, and I had my ticket. They already given me my ticket for the plane going from Manila to Dumaguete. They gave it to me in Vietnam.
Okay.
And then it seemed like everything was going fine. I didn't have to pay any other fees or anything. It went fairly quick, and we got into the plane, and the plane loaded. Like I said, maybe an hour and a half after I got there, and we go to taxi. We go to leave Manila, and they stopped the plane after we left the gate.
At what time did you board the plane in Manila?
Oh boy! So I would have been 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 12:30 to 1 a.m.
Because you messaged me at 6 a.m.
Well, that's when yeah, because we had to sit on the tarmac. They emptied the damn plane off.
Oh, so you got on the plane at the right time.
Oh yeah, well I got on the plane late, but I got on the plane, and we're taxiing, and they stopped the plane.
And unloaded you.
Well, then they 5 minutes goes by, and then the pilot comes on, and he says, "I'm very sorry, folks. Please stay seated and keep your seatbelts buckled. We're going to be aborted to be inspected," or something like that. And it's hard to understand because he has an accent. You know, he's not American. And so we all stayed seated, and the stewardess made sure that everybody kept buckled, not to get up, can't use the bathroom. They made it very clear you have to stay in your seat, stay buckled. All of a sudden, I can see out. I'm in the center aisle, but I can see through the window. You know, 2 people over. They're coming with the stairs. And I go, oh shoot, they're gonna unboard us. You know, they're gonna make us get off the plane for whatever reason. But all of a sudden, these SWAT-looking guys come up, okay, in 2 trucks, hanging on the outside.
That damn water bottle.
Yeah, right. It's the peptides. I know it. God, I knew I should have taken those damn peptides.
Here comes SWAT coming in for Goldfinger.
There's something on board the plane that's not allowed to be there, and they're going to be inspecting your luggage. Okay? I'm going, are they inspecting the luggage in the hold? Are they inspecting the luggage that we have overhead in the cabinets? I don't know. So they come on with these SWAT guys, and they're very serious, and they got these bulletproof vests and shotguns and guns and handcuffs and pepper spray bottles and you name it, you know. And they go across the whole plane. They're like in the back, the front, and 3 in the middle. There's like 5 of them. And then 2 more came on, and they went in the first 10 rows. Now I was all the way in the back, like around 44, I think it was row 44. So I could see the front, but not real clearly. It's pretty far forward. And they had some guy get up. They put him in handcuffs while all of us were seated. They put him in handcuffs. There was no shouting that I heard. There was very little. I couldn't hear the conversation. It was too far away, so there was no shouting. And they took him off the plane in handcuffs.
Wow.
Then the other 5 guys stayed there, and they announced you are to unbuckle. When they announced you're going to unbuckle, and they're going to dismiss you rows by rows, and you're going to go down. They'll point to which staircase you use, and you're going to board the buses, and they're going to take you back to the terminal. Now, we still don't know, and you're not allowed to touch the overhead cabinets. You cannot touch your luggage. You do not open those cabinets. They were very serious about that.
So this guy had done something. He got through with something.
Immediately what I'm thinking in my head is there's something in the overhead cabinet that's not supposed to be, and God bless it, it might be a bomb.
Yeah.
Because if they don't want you to touch it, I'm afraid, okay?
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, so as I was the last, because I was a handicap on, they came to me and they said, you have to wait to be the last person to come off, because we're going to help you off. Okay, fine. So I'm being the last person to get off, and when I was getting off, on the other staircase, they were bringing up equipment, okay, on the front end of the plane. I'm going out the back. And it looked like, to me, it looked like not photographic, too big, like X-ray equipment.
Wow.
Now, I can't tell you it's X-ray equipment, but that's what it looked like. It was bulky.
Okay.
They were carrying it up the stairs, 2 guys, and I'm assuming they probably X-rayed. They didn't open the cabinets. They didn't open any of the cabinets. They didn't touch them, okay? And so they took us back to the terminal, where we waited for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, okay? We couldn't see the plane from the terminal. We look at the windows, we could see the plane, but we couldn't see what they're doing. It's too far away. And we're all going, you know. So then they came with the buses. They announced that we reboard. We had to recheck our tickets. This all took hours. But not
the same plane, a different plane.
Yes, the same plane, because our luggage is still up there.
Oh, so they did a sweep of that plane.
They did a sweep of that plane, and I don't know if they took something off or not. I have no idea.
Yeah, how would you?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I don't know if they took something off or anything. So several hours. So the next thing I know, and if you're going to ask me what time, I don't remember, because at this point I'm getting tired, okay? And
all I know is I got a text from you and it was 6 o'clock in the morning. So you were still cooling your heels in the lobby.
Well, it's been over 12 hours I've been in airports. You know, it's like, damn, I just want to go home. So now we obviously missed our plane going to Dumaguete.
Dumaguete.
It left, and they have to reschedule us. So now we have another layover, okay? And it's like, oh, F me, okay? That's what the problem was. I did not get back until 9:30 into Dumaguete. 9:30, 10 o'clock is when we finally landed, around 9:30 a.m. And that was, because when I texted you, I was still in Manila.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we still had a board. I didn't board yet. I was
right, that was before you got offloaded. You texted me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think you sent me another message saying we just got offloaded.
Yeah. It's like, oh my God. And they asked me if I'd please put my bag into underground store, what do they call it? The checked luggage.
Yeah.
They said they don't want you opening up the tops. They told everybody, do not open the cabinets.
Okay.
And we're like, well, what? We have to open the cabinets when we get to Dumaguete. So they asked me, because they told me that they put a lot of the luggage, they took it down and they put it in the hold. So they opened the cabinets, but my luggage is no longer up there. And the only thing I was missing was my carry-on suitcase, okay? Mm-hmm. But my CPAC, which I took, which is a little black bag, that was still up there. So I only had my CPAC, okay? So I had to wait in Dumaguete for the luggage carrier to go around, and they unloaded my luggage. I don't know what the whole problem was. They never explained it.
Okay.
But all I know is it was a huge, you know what? Manila is such a pain in the you-know-what.
Yeah.
Okay, now, Vietnam, awesome. I would suggest strongly, if you ever go back and you want to visit, Da Nang or Dalat, because those are the 2 ones that keep coming up. Da Nang and Dalat are the 2 best tourist locations. They have nicer areas, beaches. Where I was in District 4 was very similar to Dumaguete. It was a city, but it wasn't the main city. It was like outside the city. And it was nice, and it was extremely cheap, okay?
Now, while you were there, did it ever cross your mind, you know, I could live here. I could shine on the Philippines. I could get Carol over.
No.
And I could live over here for half the price.
Yes, I could. I thought about that, but no.
Would you recommend it to someone?
If you haven't already established yourself in the Philippines, and if you can find an area where there's more foreigners, expats in Vietnam, probably Da Nang or Dalat is what I was told.
Da Nang, yeah.
Yeah, you probably would be better off because it's very similar to the Philippines, but it's half the price.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I mean
beaches and all
now,
that good
are you going to
stuff?
find a young girl? No, they don't do that there. Okay, so if you're looking for a wife and you want her to be in her 30s or 40s, probably not going to happen if you're in 60s or 70s. Okay, you'll find a desirable woman in her 50s, but there's not going to be. If you want a 24-year-old, well, I don't recommend. But if you want a 24-year-old, good God bless you. But you'll never find it there for sure. You will find
Well,
it
the
here.
language is a big problem,
And
number one.
that's a big
and number
problem.
two, the culture is a lot different.
Yes, it is.
And we're not looked upon the same over there as we are here. I don't know if it's that negative or not, but I just don't think that they're quite as open-minded.
No, they're
and
not.
it's a communist country.
And it's a communist country,
And,
you cannot stay there long term like you can here.
It's every 3 months you got to make a border run.
And you're only allowed, I think, twice in a year.
Yes, I don't know how guys. Well, they do it long term because they have
They
different
buy.
deal.
They buy a
where
visa.
They buy a
Long-term
visa,
visa,
and
yeah.
they could open a business visa
Right.
and all this other stuff. I was researching
you
it
have to have money
while
for
you
that.
were gone.
You have to have
but
some money.
it does take a little Johnny, a little
Yes.
bit of this. You know what I mean?
Would I live there? Possibly, but the problem is if you live in Da Nang, you're going to pay the same price as if you live in Philippines. It's going to be more expensive. It's a tourist area.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's going to be the same cost.
All right, so if you were sitting on your couch,
Yeah.
and you were in Canada or you were in America,
Yeah.
and you were going to say, you want to retire over here, and women were not the primary motivation.
Yes.
Okay, that's not on your radar. You don't care about that.
Right.
Maybe you're married. Who knows? Whatever. Would you recommend Vietnam over the Philippines?
Ooh, that's a toughie. That's a toughie. I didn't live there. I only was a tourist for a week. So that's
got
pretty
it.
tough.
It does
I don't
take
think
a number of
money
months.
I don't think money is everything. So yes, you'd save money, but is that everything? I don't think
For
so.
some guys, it's going to be a big issue.
I'm going to say the food is better.
Okay? Infrastructure is
Unfortunately,
better.
Infrastructure is similar.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just a little bit better, but very similar. Like I
Would
said,
you
they don't
wanna-
have lights.
Would you want to drive there? A
Hell no,
motorbike?
no, not a
Okay.
chance. I wouldn't ride a motorbike there.
Okay.
It's extremely dangerous.
Okay.
They're nuts. They go on the sidewalks. They ride on the sidewalks. They park on the sidewalks and they ride on the sidewalks, and they don't care if you're walking or not. They'll just blow their horn. Everybody blows their horn. It's like they think that the world will part, and they have this protection, the horn. It protects them from any kind of injury.
Uh-huh.
They constantly use their horn. It's very noisy in District 4 and worse in District 1. You can't have a conversation in a coffee shop if their doors are open.
Are you
It's
more
that noisy.
comfortable here in the Philippines with
I
the
am.
English and
Yes.
the people and the
Yes,
foreigners?
definitely.
You've been here 3 years, so you know what restaurants
Well,
to go to,
compared to Ho Chi Minh,
where you want to hang
I'd rather
out,
live
and all
here.
that. You'd
Compared to
rather
Ho
live
Chi
here.
Minh.
Okay,
But I have not seen all of Vietnam. But compared to Ho Chi Minh, I'd rather live here. It's a lot more peaceful.
you're right though. A week or whatever it was is not
not
enough
enough
to come to a
time.
conclusion.
No.
And I think you need at least 6 months in one place to.
And I don't think
say, okay,
money
this is
alone is a
fit.
good reason to live in a country because it's already inexpensive in the Philippines. Granted, it's gone up since you've been here for 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
You've seen an increase in costs, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
big time.
I've been here for 3 years, and I've seen a little bit of an increase, but not to the point where it drives me out.
Right.
Okay. So,
A video I'm going to do in the future is where my budget has been reduced just due to the exchange rate recently.
right.
And so I can live now. I'll give you a little preview of
Yeah,
that
we're
video.
at 60, just about 60.
Right.
60 to 1.
My 1 month, my 4-week budget now goes for 5 weeks. I was counting my money this morning.
Okay,
This is
very
about
good.
the time I transfer money over. I just got my Social Security check the other day. And this is usually when I
increased it.
transfer.
They increased
I don't need to transfer.
Right.
I still got $400 or $500 laying around the house. And I said, wow, this is going to last us for a while.
Well,
and
actually,
so,
after 3 years, I'm actually starting to save money.
Yeah.
Now, when I first got here, I got to be honest. On the first 6 months, I was borrowing money.
I know you
borrowed
were.
from you.
Yeah, I
borrowed
remember.
from Hawkeye. Not a
remember.
lot, but around 20, 30,000, 25,000,
Yeah.
or 10,000
Yeah.
pesos. But I was running short on the first 6 months
well, the first 6 months is the most expensive 6 months you'll be here.
because you make mistakes. You overpay.
You're going to make mistakes,
Yeah.
and you're getting set up. You're
You're right.
paying first and last.
gotta buy things.
You might be buying a scooter. You might be buying a car.
Right. Or even renting, yeah.
Or even renting. You got the security deposits. And yeah, you're going to make bonehead mistakes, and then you're going to feel like a weekend millionaire.
Like sending money to girls that are
because-
22 years old and they live in another island.
Well, that's your specialty. That was never my specialty.
Well, I told you, I came over for the girls. I was honest. I came over for the girls.
That's fine.
Okay?
That's fine.
But not anymore. You know, I found someone.
So you found someone and you settled into a routine.
Well, we've been together for 3 years. She's awesome.
So what's the takeaway from this video? You did your 3-year deal. You're good for 3 more years, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I have to go every 2 months and get, actually, it starts over. So in 30 days, I have to get another 28 day, and then I have to go back for another 28 day, and then I'm allowed to go 2 months at a time. So it starts over, but every 2 months. Now, it was a lot easier, I'll be honest. When I got here, it was 6 months.
It was, yeah.
Now they charge you obviously more money. They charge you a rate of 6 months.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was a lot easier because going every 2 months seems like a week goes by and you have to go back to the BI and wait again. So what I do is I give the guy 100 pesos and I get right in.
Yeah.
Okay, but it took me 2 years to figure that out.
Right.
Hand him 50 pesos, hand him 100 pesos, and you don't have to wait.
No.
Because the Philippines is all about, and I'll be honest, the Philippines is all about GRAFT.
Yeah.
That's what it is, okay? Without saying the word.
It's not all about that.
Well,
but
I mean,
it
you can
does
get pulled
help to
over
grease
for
the
not wearing a
wheels here
helmet.
and there.
You can get pulled over without wearing a helmet or shoes, and 500 pesos goes a long way. It just does.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so
there's no denying it.
And so, but that's the way the U.S. was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
I used to go to Vegas with my dad when I was a kid, and you wanted to get a good seat in a show.
Oh yeah,
you'd give them $100.
Maitre d'.
Give them $100.
Front seat for two Frank Sinatra.
Front seat, or you get a booth, you get a table, and everything was about. That's the way it was.
Well, the world works that way.
Yeah.
It's not just here.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, really. You know.
And it works for me. I'm not a problem with it. So, so you get what you pay for.
So that was your experience with Vietnam.
I like Vietnam. I'd go back to Da Nang and I'd go with Carol.
Let me ask you this question. If you didn't have the handicapped advantage, would you have made your flight? No.
I didn't make my flight anyways. The plane was held over.
Right,
so,
but even with that,
I didn't make my
you wouldn't have
flight.
made it even with the 45-minute delay.
Nope.
You would need to have gotten to the airport at 6 hours before time.
It took me 3 hours as a handicapped person to beat the lines and make it to the plane. Luckily, the plane was delayed. I actually was 10 minutes late from boarding. But they were still sitting there, and it's like, what's going on? And they announced we're running, it'll be another 45 minutes. So actually, they were 55 minutes late, and I was 10 minutes late to boarding, okay? No, 3 hours is not enough time if you're not handicapped. And when I talked to a friend of mine, I'm not going to say who, but I talked to a friend of him, he says, and he's not handicapped, he says, the only way I go is handicapped because handicap saves me so much time in the airports.
Right.
And I can see why, okay? But it's
I'll
a
give
shame.
you my 2 cents for what it's worth. I've quit traveling since my last trip.
It's aggravating.
And it was not the trip, it wasn't the plane ride, it wasn't the location, it was the freaking airport.
Yep.
And especially Manila.
Yeah.
And it was just friggin'
the ticketing,
brutal.
the
and you have
immigration,
to have
the
an
security.
app for this, you have to have a letter for that, you got to do this, you got to do a bip, a bop, a boop.
I
And
needed 4 things.
Was there a sign, real quick, I know we're running long, was there a sign saying exit tax? Or did you just have to dig it out and find out?
No, she told me at the
somebody?
ticket booth when I got there, she goes, you didn't pay your exit tax. I says, oh yeah, I have my exit clearance right here. She says, no sir, that's an exit tax, it's different. You have to go over there and follow the arrows. You see where that arrow is on that building over there? She says, well, go past that arrow. I'm like,
and then did you find the counter? I mean, you just
I had to ask the people.
We had to ask like 8 people.
I asked
Me
several.
and May, when we were leaving, we were like,
it was far away.
Where is it? Where is it?
And then
Where
when
is
I got
it?
there, there's this long line. But
There was no sign there that says pay tax here. Right? No, that's my point.
There was just a long line.
Yeah.
And luckily, being in a wheelchair when I got there, I was able to get through it.
Yeah.
Pretty fast. Because there was people that had been standing in line, and it was, what can I tell you? It's crazy. I was told, do not fly out of Manila afterwards by a couple people.
I guess the takeaway from this video is, number one, Goldfinger's not going to leave the Philippines for Vietnam. And he's going to stay here with us. Yep. I don't know if that's good news or bad news. And when possible, avoid the Manila airport.
Yes.
Bug out of Clark or bug out of Cebu, and if possible. And they've just added some flights out of Cebu to some different places.
Yes, they have international
and
flights.
So that is
And,
definitely
also,
the way to go.
you
Much
need
friendlier
you need an
atmosphere.
onward ticket even to come back in here. So I had to have
Did you need an? Oh, yeah, that's
yes,
right.
You did.
needed
You
an
need
onward ticket. Did you get that?
You needed yes, onward ticket, which was a problem because Carolyn didn't know the onward ticket had to be within 30 days.
Right.
So she booked it for March.
Oh shit.
And I'm going, honey, that's not within 30 days. She goes, what do you mean? She goes, I don't know what an onward ticket is. She was doing me a favor to book. So we had to book it twice. It cost $12 twice. Big deal.
Right.
But she had to book it. I says, honey, I said, make it for February 5th. Okay? That's within 30 days. So that's what she did. But I had to have an onward ticket to get back in. I had to have e-visa to come back in. I had to have my boarding pass to get back to Dumaguete. And luckily I had my ACR card. That helped, by the way, and my passport. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The ACR card got me through much faster, I noticed, than just the passport, interestingly enough.
Now
And I
you
had
made
a
an
Philippine driver's license.
off the cuff remark to me that you're going to get married just to get the 13A.
Yeah. You know
Was
what?
that in jest,
I
or are you seriously thinking about that?
I'm going to marry Carolyn. I just don't know when. I will. But
Okay.
but I made it in jest that it would be easier to marry Carolyn and go through all the rigmarole of a 13A than it is to get out of the country as a single person.
Yeah.
However, traveling with a Filipina, it's actually better, I think, if you're not married, isn't it?
No.
It's not easier?
No, it's easier married.
Okay.
It's easier just getting in, getting
right.
out, because I go through the line with her.
Okay.
Okay, so
All right.
we just
So yeah,
go together.
I plan on getting married. I'll surprise her one day and say, let's do it.
Okay, cool.
But it's in the future.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the channel.
You're welcome.
young
Thank
man.
you for everybody listening to my long
For those
story.
that don't already know, it's the Goldfinger Minute is
you.
his little YouTube channel.
And we got to get you back on.
I'm going to be back on next
Okay.
time you do a podcast.
All
I already
right, we gotta
promised
get you
you.
back
Tit
on.
for tat here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so thanks for coming on and telling your story. And we will see you crazy people in the next video.
Bye, everybody. Take care.